everyone, and welcome to this special episode of the Spotlight series. We have another amazing conference speaker to speak with today, and that is the fabulous Miriam Castilla. Hello, Miriam.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me, Tash. I'm so excited to talk about conference.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be at conference. It is getting so close now. I want to start by introducing you and saying that I often say Miriam Castilla is the highest vibe person that I know. And I mean that. Like I'm in masterminds with multi-million-dollar people, and I hang out with a lot of very successful people in my life. But there is something about you, Miriam. You are the highest vibe person that I know. And it's probably no surprise because you work with manifesting, magic, vibration, abundance, the law of attraction, all of that space. And I just feel like it is such a beautiful reflection that you do your own work and you know your worth and your value and what you do. So that's my way of introducing everyone. How do you explain what it is that you do in your business?
Yeah, that's an ever-evolving thing, actually. So I might need more help with your messaging. No, what I do is I really help women marry the magical with the practical. That's how I put it in a nutshell. It's about having the mindset piece and understanding how your unconscious mind works and how to leverage that, but also bringing that together in a really practical way and knowing what to actually do to embody all the beautiful things that you're attracting into your life, but also what to do to actually keep that wheel turning and keep up the momentum in a way where you don't feel like you're pushing the whole time, because that's not the point, right? So I call myself an effectologist because it is about the most effective way of leveraging the power of the unseen of our unconscious mind in the universe and bringing that together with your practical everyday stuff that we do as women in business.
Gorgeous. I love it so much. And I love that you have a range of things that it applies to as well. So there's the Magnetic Money Program, which is all about the money, getting money, keeping money, making money babies. And then the Effectology Method Program, which is that really deep, transformative, I say it's like be a mini Miriam, like get high vibe and live that life that you really want to have, the time, the money, the energy, and the lifestyle that you're really wanting to create through that deep transformation. So for me, like, I love how your work, it just flows into every aspect of our lives. And I'm just so excited that you're going to be on stage. So one of the things that you did before preparing your presentation for conference was you asked some people in our community what they were looking for and what was holding them back. What did you find out, Miriam?
Yeah, that was really interesting. So because I launched the Magnetic Money Program several times a year, I'm kind of known as the money mindset, money magnetizing lady. And so I asked the question, I said, what do you want me to talk about at conference? And I was really blown away because I was expecting things like, how do I become more magnetic to money so I'm not constantly having to work so hard at it? How do I stop the roller coaster effect or something like that? But what I actually got was I got a huge long list of replies, and most of them, like literally 80% plus, were around, what do I do about all the other people who are bringing down my vibe? Which was really, really interesting.
It is such a common question. And I've even noticed in your launches when you're doing your money challenges or, your law of attraction challenges, that's a common question is, well, I'm working on my stuff. What about my husband who just like totally threw me off with that comment? Or my sister doesn't believe in what I'm doing, or people are judging me, or whatever it might be. And so whilst I'm like, wow, that's surprising, I'm also like, that's not surprising. So it was really fascinating to see that response. So Miriam, tell us, like, what do you do when you are working on your stuff? You're trying to move into this new space of being high vibe and manifesting more money or manifesting this new way of living, and you do feel like you're being impacted by other people. What's the answer?
Okay, good question. So I see this all the time, and I usually see it in my programs, whether it's Magnetic Money or the Effectology Method. People get into a space where they go, wow, this feels great, and I can really get myself into this place, and I can feel and see and actually have tangible evidence of the flow-on effect. And then, you know, your husband or your sister or your well-meaning mother or mother-in-law comes along with some comment that totally derails you, just knocks you for six and kills your vibe. And then they come to me and go, so what do I do? So the thing about that is, that's where I kind of get back on my soapbox. And, you know, you might have been hearing me talk a lot lately about you are the universe. Like, stop blaming the universe, because you are the universe. Everything is energy, and you're part of that system, and you're actually a part of that system that has consciousness and gets to direct what it is you want to achieve. So the moment that you give your power away, then you're screwed, because then you are at the mercy of all those outside influences. So actually taking back your power and going, okay, well, I'm actually in control here. I'm most importantly in control of my vibration. And if other people are toppling me, it actually shows me that I'm not very stable. So in fact, they're doing you a favor, and they're showing you that you haven't reached that level of stability and that, you know, that nice level of expansion where you've got the strong foundations, where, you know, their comments aren't going to bother you. I had one of my teachers, my hypnosis teacher, actually, he used to say, you wouldn't have a problem with it if you didn't have a problem with it. And that one was always like, oh, it's true, right? If you didn't have a problem with it, you wouldn't have a problem with it. And my little analogy that I use is, if I just come and poke you in the arm, you know, just poke you in the arm, you'd go, okay, Miriam, strange lady, why are you poking me in the arm? But it wouldn't be such a big deal. But if you had a big open wound oozing away there, and it was all really raw and sore, and I poked you in the arm, you'd go, what the hell, get off me. You're so mean. You're so horrible. You're hurting me. It's because you have a wound that my little poke bothered you. So the answer is actually mind your own vibration and go back to the drawing board. Like, go back to just working on gently and in a sustainable way build your foundation of vibrational alignment. And then, you know, the wind blows a little bit, but it's not going to blow you over.
I love that so much. And so we're going deep at conference with how to get those foundations really strong. And I'm not going to give away this analogy that you've got to share, because I think it's going to be totally amazing, and I'm super excited. But in that vein, whilst we're working on our foundations and whilst we're getting stronger, what are some of the things that we can do to make us less susceptible to other people?
Okay, so first of all, like, if you've got the cracks in your foundation, then you need to actually look at removing those cracks. And the cracks in your foundation are usually all the stories that you bought into that other people have given you.
Yeah.
Right? The stories about you've got to work hard to make money, you've got to have money to make money, you know, waiting for the other shoe to drop, all these stories that we buy into. And even just stories around whether it's possible to have your cake and eat it too. Can you be successful in business and be a good mother and be a good wife and, you know, have a social life? Like, can you have it all? And we have that kind of bred into us still, even this day and age, from a really young age. You know, little girls are treated different to little boys. And in my generation, like, it was after I was born that women started being able to vote and get credit cards and things like that. So particularly when it comes to money stuff and then business as an extension of that, you know, we have these stories that are with us sometimes through generations, and they're still kind of embedded within us. So we really need to look at what are these stories that I've bought into, and start untangling some of those and recognizing they're not actually yours. And then it's kind of like you're pulling the threads of the cracks back out of your foundation, and you can fill them up with your own stories that you choose to believe, and start creating and embodying those.
Yeah, gorgeous. And I love how, like, internal that is, right? Like, you don't have to confront the person and say, hey, blah, 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 like, you're bringing my vibe down, because that never works, right? Projecting your issues, projecting your challenges onto the other person is not the way to stop that person bringing your vibe down. And so I really love that, like, you're always first like, go within, go within, go within. And it's so empowering. It's empowering to say, well, I can shift my reality. I can shift this experience that I'm having by focusing on myself and focusing on my space. I mean, there are also like very practical things you can do. Like for me, there are certain family members that the only time I'll hang out with them is if we go to the movies, because we don't have to talk that much. My apologies to my family members who I like going to the movies with, who are watching this with this video now, right? Or there might be, you know, things that you can do around that, not being exposed to that kind of messaging. So for me, I love that whole, like, you are the 5 people you spend the most time with. So for me, spending time with high vibe, ambitious, entrepreneurial women who are also feminists, who totally understand and get it, means that I'm way less susceptible to that occasional thing that happens with other people, because I get the connection and the support and the sense that other people are lifting me up from other spaces. And I'm not looking to my aunt to lift my vibration. I'm not looking to the guy at the coffee shop who's having a bad day to keep me high vibe, because I'm surrounded by amazing people most of the time. And so, you know, it's like if you have a great run when you're driving and someone cuts you off, but you've had a great run till then, it's like, whoosh, no drama. But if you are driving and like it seems like everyone is cutting you off, or all of these experiences are happening, by the time it happens the 5th or 6th time, of course you're going to be experiencing that, why does this keep happening? So, yeah, there are some things that we can do from a practical level, but yeah, totally. It comes from within. It comes from
and that's where I talk about, you know, it's so important to have that level of immersion, like into your own practices, but also into a community that helps you stay on track. Because if you do constantly, while you're not so stable yet, expose yourself to the people that are going to keep giving you the wobbles, you're making it harder for yourself than it needs to be. Yeah. And often what you'll find is that when you've immersed yourself in the supportive community and the right people and the right messages, and you've kept doing your work, then a certain amount of time passes and suddenly that person that used to bother you so much just doesn't bother you at all. Or it takes a lot longer for them to get under your skin. So that's where immersion is so, so powerful.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. And that brings us to the juicy topic of coming along to something like the Heartcentered Business Conference, right? Because you are in a room with amazing, smart, like-hearted women who understand the power of their vibration and their emotions and taking responsibility for themselves. And so you see role models and you have conversations that you just wouldn't get access to without being in a room of women just like that. As a speaker at conference this year, you were also an attendee at conference in 2017. Do you want to just talk a little bit about that? Because I think it's so powerful for people to hear that perspective from people who've been in the room.
Yeah, look, I put up a post the other day somewhere, or maybe it was my newsletter, where I mentioned conference, and I said it's one of only 2 conferences on earth that I want to go to. Mm-hmm. So the Heartcentered Business Conference and the Infinite Possibilities Trainer Conference. Yeah. I'm not much of a conference goer, because the difference is with this conference is it is all about the community. It is all about the support network. It's actually about lifting one another up. And being in that room last time was really powerful. And the connections that were made, I mean, I'm actually quite introverted. I'm fine when you get me on camera because I'm basically in a room by myself. But if you put me into a room with 200 people, I'm actually quite shy, but still the connections are made at conference. I've had some of my most beautiful clients and students come out of that, some of my best business partners. You know, it's just really incredible because you're all on the same wavelength and you're all about the same thing, what powerful connections get made. And going to conference really did change me as well in a very tangible way, particularly doing the VIP day. I really loved that. And that's something I'll be talking about coming back as a speaker, that, you know, if you want to, like, we're all there for the same reason. We're all there because we want to grow and expand, and we don't want to play small. And we're looking to kind of support one another to go through that process. And it's really about going from that hobby business mindset to being the CEO of your business. And, you know, I grabbed every little morsel of gold I got at conference last year, everything I learned in VIP day. And I then I went full, I'm very full on with my immersion because I know how much it works. And I just committed myself to it. And so, you know, the transformation in my business has been really huge. And it's a really beautiful thing to say. And now I'm back and I'm speaking and I get to pay it forward and kind of help, you know, be part of the people who are doing a bit more of the lifting rather than the people who are doing the, you know, being more in the, like, we all do it for each other, and we all do it for each other at whatever stage we're at with whatever it is we have to offer. So the Heart-Centered Business Conference is a really amazing place to be, not just for what you get from the speakers on stage, but for what you actually get in terms of tapping into what you then know is possible for you, like opening your eyes to that. It's super cool.
Absolutely. And I guess we should mention, like, you were also one of the first people, as soon as the VIP day was over, to buy your VIP ticket again. It was like, yep, doing this again. Yep. And now you are actually attending the VIP day as a shark, as one of the facilitators, because I think, like, you're my poster child for conference. You, exactly like you said, you came, you got that, had that experience, you connected with so many people, you implemented wholeheartedly. You know, you had a lot of people because there's the 4 VIP little masterminding sessions. And in those 4 conversations, you really did get it handed back to you, like, Miriam, focus, right? Because so the VIP facilitators at the last conference could see the potential of your business and could see what was there. And you got to see it too. And you decided to go for it. And to have witnessed what has happened in your business over the last 18 months is just outstanding. And so for me, as the conference facilitator, it was a no-brainer to then ask you to come and facilitate and speak as well. Like, because that is exactly what the Heart-Centered community is about, is that we are all lifting each other up. And when people achieve success, we put them up in leadership spaces so that they can say, like, this is what can happen for you too. And that you can share what's happened and what your experiences are and what those tipping points were. So, like, I am super stoked. And it's one of the reasons we now have a VIP ticket for sale again, because I'm like, no, Miriam, you don't get that VIP ticket. I'm going to sell it to someone else and you can be a facilitator. But this is a beautiful, like, it's such a beautiful transformation for us all to have witnessed. And it's like this, like, coming full circle moment now of just 18 months later, you're not only speaking on stage, you're facilitating it as part of the panel for the VIP day, because you have absolutely embodied the bits that you needed to in order to excel your business and grow the results, as well as you are such a shining leader and example for us all. So I'm eternally grateful that you came to conference and that you will be there again in 2019.
Oh yeah, I totally put my hand up. The moment you said, who wants a VIP ticket for next time, I went.
We actually did sell out VIP tickets within 48 hours. That's how powerful the VIP experience was. So.
And the return rate was huge. And, you know, I just want to also say, I've had a huge transformation, like a huge growth in my business in the last 18 months. And I've actually done that not by working my ass off. I have done that by focusing and implementing everything I learned at conference, everything that I know to do, and just getting really serious. Like, I also had to leave some of my old stories behind. I had to kind of, you know, figure out what is it that's holding me back, that's making me play small. I think it was around conference that I was, can't remember if I had already stepped full-time into my business or I was about.
Yeah, I think you just had like a few weeks beforehand. Yeah.
And I was gripped by fear, can I just say, because I had built a multiple 6-figure business, and then I was basically just going, okay, good luck with that. I'm going to go play with my beautiful new business that lights up my heart, you know, and I thought, am I just being selfish, silly, you know, what am I doing? So I had to let go of a whole lot of stories.
Yep.
And it just goes to show, you know, all the support's there, all the what to do's there. You just have to step up and put your hand up and say, okay, I'm up for it. And the people are there to support you and help make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited. It's coming up so soon. So if you would like to come and join us at conference and you don't have your ticket yet, ladyposse2019.com is the link for you to go and grab your ticket. As I said, we do, at the time of recording this, still have a VIP ticket available. And if you use the coupon code Miriam, you will get a $100 discount off your ticket. Gold tickets are sold out, so we have standard and VIP tickets still available, and that $100 discount is off both ticket options that are now available. So do make sure that you go and check it out. Miriam is the coupon code that you want to use. Now, Miriam, before we close up this interview, I would love to know if you could leave our listeners with one overarching thought about raising their vibration and not being derailed by other people. What would that be?
Ooh, okay. I'm just going to add one other thing. Also,
okay,
one person who uses my coupon code will get a one-on-one session with me.
I forgot about that. Yes. Cool. So it also gets you a chance to work with the fabulous Miriam.
We'll do some gremlin busting.
Nice.
So actually, I want to quickly share a story in answer to your question, and that is that, you know, sometimes we just get a little bit ahead of ourselves. We try to do way too much. We're not vibrationally up to speed with it. And the number one thing to do in this vibrational work is to be self-aware and know when to slow down rather than push harder. So this morning, I actually stayed in bed till 10 a.m. I skipped my Tuesday morning yoga. I decided I've been pushing too hard. I was getting tired. Things weren't flowing. And in the past, I would have just tried to push through and gone, okay, I need to get all these things done and I need to get myself out of bed and go to yoga. And I actually have sufficient self-awareness now to know when to slow down. So some of this vibrational work and getting high vibe, it's not about pushing yourself beyond what you can naturally get to. It's not about like being high. It's actually about expansive vibration and a really nice, beautiful, aligned state of vibration. And sometimes that actually feels really calm and chilled. And so you have to be willing to slow down in order to speed up sometimes. And that's a really important lesson to learn. If people could just learn that, because you always have law of attraction coming to your aid and it gathers the speed. Gathering the speed is not your work. So stop trying to push and learn to slow down when you need to, because the leverage you get out of that is worth 100 times more than you flogging yourself and working till late in the night and ignoring your family and your self-care.
Oh, that was one of my biggest light bulb moments when I did your magnetic money program. I think it was the second time, was this realization that I had this story that high vibe means all the time. And yet the person that I most want to emulate in terms of their energy and their presence are people like you. Like, it's like this calmness, this sense. When I think about my rich lady self, when I think about my, you know, my future self and how I want to be in the world, it's not all the time. I want to be like, my vision for who I am is this like chilled out, calm, everything's okay kind of person. And yet I had this weird story that if I wanted to be more high vibe, I needed to do more screaming and shouting and clapping and excitement and jumping around and randomness. And it was such a huge realization. And I felt really stupid at first. I was like, what have I been doing? But I think I wasn't ready for that lesson until that lesson came. At that point in time, like, that was working for me and I was still kind of, you know, making my way through. But the lesson appeared when I was ready for it. And it has been created such a shift for myself as well. And actually, I have a little story that totally resonates with that. When I was in New Zealand recently, my family wanted to get together for a fun afternoon and just catch up, watch some sport. It's my favorite thing to do in New Zealand. You know, just do some fun things. And I said to Davey, oh, I'm really worried. I should be selling conference tickets. I should be this. I should be that. And then I found I heard myself say the word should 3 times in a row without taking a breath. And I went, clearly I need to go and take some time out and spend some time with my family. Whilst I was doing that, I had no idea that Denise Duffield Thomas was going to send out an email to her mailing list for conference. I sold 3 conference tickets. Whilst I was chilling, the work had been done. The effort I'd already done my part. And yet it's that constant practice of reminding yourself the work has been done. It's okay. And creating that sense of ease and trust and flow. And I 100% believe you and agree with you. And it's okay for us to keep practicing. I still sometimes fall into hustle mode. It still happens. It's still okay. It's okay. But the thing that I love about the work that you do is that we know we are all practicing together, and it gets easier and easier to notice, easier and easier to shift. And then we don't have to even worry about it anymore. Like, that's effectology. I think, like, if I was to describe that, like, that is your work, is this, don't even need to worry about it anymore. It's just, this is just how I am. This is who I am. And that's okay.
Yep. And that doesn't mean that you don't sometimes still screw it up and have to start again. But then the process is so much quicker and easier, and you don't beat yourself up, and you don't waste all that time and energy on, oh my God, what did I do wrong? When am I going to get it? You just go, okay, back on the horse.
Yeah, love it. Thank you so much for joining me in this Spotlight series, Miriam. As always, it's been an amazing conversation. As I said, everyone, if you want to come and join us at conference, it's on the 14th to 17th of March. ladyposse2019.com is the link, and Miriam is the coupon code. Thanks so much, Miriam.
You're welcome. See you all at conference.
Yes, we cannot wait to see you shine at conference. Bye for now.